Welcome back to WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. I have made my way back down the mountain from Pittsburgh just in time for the Orioles to get back at home here. And, of course, a lot of NFL draft follow-up as well as beanball follow-up in Boston and Adam Jones and Manny Machado. It has not been a quiet week around here. I got a guy on who never has a quiet week because he's got a couple auto dealerships that he is the chief communications officer for. And we're going to get to the Wikipedia explanation of what a chief communications officer is. He is our longtime friend, one-time foil and foe of mine at WHFS, where we would get on and talk sports together as part of the morning show. He's been our partner over at Jerry's Auto Group for a number of years, and they're doing great things. And, this time of year, we did our Evening of Heroes. We're going to skip a year and do it next year. I got Trent Dilfer and Marvin Lewis and Brian Billick doing that. You guys have been so generous in everything you've done since my wife's illness, but you're doing a blood drive, my man, and out of Jerry's, and you do golf tournaments, you do auto shows, and there's always a charity event. You sponsor Little League teams, you sponsor us, and we're eternally grateful for that here at WNST. But the blood drive thing is near and dear to my heart, Bill Bolander. And
mine too.
Well, let me tell you why. Because my wife spent 155 nights in the hospital, and it did not come without pints and bags and pints and bags of platelets and bloods that from all corners of the earth that saved her life, and that's why she's in the other room right now, and that's why we get to go to the Preakness in a couple of weeks and participate and still be able to talk about this incredible thing you do. 12 years running now. Give everybody the lay of the land, Bill Bolander.
Well, and first of all, bless all the donors that helped save your wife's life, and that's one of the reasons why we do it. I started with Jerry's 10 years ago. They already had a blood drive. Some of the girls in accounting would put it on, and then I kind of took over, as I did with everything that a chief communications officer does. And this year is our 12th annual spring blood drive. This is the one we have each spring at our Chevrolet store, which, as you all know, is on the corner of, it's on Joppa Road at the corner of Joppa and Perring Parkway.
I like to say to people, that's the one closer to my radio station. The other one's a little further away, but it's nice over Perry Hall, too. That's fine, right?
Yep. And we now do a fall one also at our Toyota store on Bel Air Road, but this is the original. And it's the Bloodmobile comes out, and they get set up like around 8, 9 a.m., and by 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock, we're collecting pints of blood. And it's we give everybody. We usually have some T-shirts and tchotchkes that we give away at all our events and stuff like that. So everybody who comes out gets a brand new Jerry's T-shirt, and just knowing that each pint of blood can save 3 people's lives, and that blood stays here. It stays right here in our community. So you're helping you might be helping your neighbor or a friend. You might even be helping yourself. So that's coming up. Actually, gosh, do you have the date in front of you? That's coming up next
May 10. That's Wednesday.
May 10th.
I got it in front of me here. 10:30 to 4. Partnering with the Red Cross, saving lives. And you can learn more, obviously, at jerry'sitsaboutyou.com. And you can click on any of the things that they do there, from stopping by and getting your oil changed to body shop to you got real problems underneath the hood of the car. You need a little checkup from the neck up. That's a good place to do it out at Jerry's. Chevrolet, it's a new car showroom. It's Wednesday the 10th from 10:30 to 4. This is a big issue for me, for my family, for my wife. We hope that if you're in the Towson area, you want to make a little day trip for lunchtime. Or how long does it take people to stop and do that? A building?
Well,
what are sort of the pre-qualifications?
If you're a person who's already registered with the Red Cross, the questionnaire portion takes a little faster time. If you're unfamiliar, it's your first time rolling up your sleeve to donate, it might take a few more minutes. But what we ask everybody to do is, if they want ahead of time, email my team at marketing@jerrysautogroup.com, or just call one of the stores and tell us what time you'd like to come out. We have some slots still available.
So you can make an appointment, no problem, right?
Yeah, make an appointment just so that we don't have 10 people showing up at one time and we're wasting, 6 people's, half hour. So we stagger it throughout the day, constantly having people going in and putting their sleeves up. And if you're unsure if you are unsure that you can donate blood. Some people don't know all the rules, like you couldn't have received a tattoo or new body piercing in the last 12 months.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. My wife can't give because she's, has been transplanted, literally. She's not eligible anymore. So.
Or, and if you have a low iron count that day, then they'll let you know. Sorry, today's not your day, and you might want to do something to get your iron count up. But
I got plenty of iron. I just came back from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there you go, definitely. So it's a good time. We're saving lives. So
that's
please join us if you can. And we have all these events set up. You can go to any one of our stores' Facebook pages, Jerry's Chevrolet Baltimore, Jerry's Toyota, Jerry's Mitsubishi on Facebook, and all these events that we are discussing are all posted on there.
Speaking of blood, here's my little segue in the radio business. Almost some blood spilled in Boston. I know what a baseball guy you are. I know you've been watching the Caps and the Sidney Crosby fiasco as well, but this has been a wild week of Oriole baseball, and I know what a fan you are, Bill.
Well, you know what? It's actually been aggravating, I think, too. Especially when you see Chris Sale throw behind Manny one day, nothing happens. A little warning. It was a fastball. Could have done permanent damage to his body. And then the next night, Kevin Gosman leads the second inning with a 72-per-hour curveball, and you got I would assume a young umpire just going a little insane. As a matter of fact, I think Caleb Joseph had a tirade. He went through a long interview with I think the national four-letter station and went on and on, and he brought up a good point. Why didn't this umpire get the other three umpires' opinions before he throws a pitcher out to lead off the second inning? It's not like you have to eject them that second. Why they get together to try and make sure they get a play called right. Look at the impact on our team. I mean, 8 innings of relief, and we may have found a job for Baldo, but 8 innings to tax onto our bullpen, who's already been taxed on that road trip, and I don't know. I just think that somehow maybe it's just me being a homer. I kind of think Boston's gotten the better end of this stick.
Well, for me, I got into it with people on Twitter in the middle of the hockey game, which is the last thing I felt like doing for Pittsburgh, is dealing with this. But, I want to watch a baseball game. I don't think anybody goes to a baseball game to see the fights break out. Maybe they do that for hockey, but that's why God gave us the UFC, Bill. And,
yeah.
For me, with where we are with baseball, it was always, the players will settle it. We'll figure it out on the field. It'll be settled with the unwritten rules. Well, the unwritten rules aren't working. And when the commissioner has to stop his day and get Buck Showalter on the phone and get Farrell on the phone at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a conference call and say, guys, no more. And in the second inning, when someone gets hit, that's going to be the end of it. I mean, I don't really have a problem with Gosman getting tossed because I really do believe if Drew Pomerantz had hit Jonathan Scope or Caleb Joseph, he would have gotten tossed. I think that's what happens. I mean, we all say the same thing.
What if it was Chris Sale last night?
What
if it was Sale last night?
If the conference call was Tuesday afternoon, sure, absolutely.
I meant, yes.
Well, but if the conference call was before the Chris Sale pitch and Chris Sale does that, I mean, look, dude, Chris Sale cut up his team's
during that
jerseys,
conversation
right?
Told them, if anybody gets hit by a ball, eject the pitcher immediately.
I think that it was along those lines, yes. I thought Wednesday was a very special circumstance. I think it's a special circumstance anytime that the commissioner gets on the phone with the managers and says, we're not going to have this anymore, and if you don't drive 55, if you drive 56, we're going to come lock you up. And, I think that's – I equated it, and you sell cars for a living, so you'll appreciate this, and I drove down the mountain from Pittsburgh. Coming down the mountain from Pittsburgh, I got on the other end of Hagerstown, and they had signs, because you can drive about 80 miles an hour on that road now, right? It's 70. They had that area where the orange caution signs are up, and it says 55. And it's orange, and it says 55. And then it's orange, and it says 55. Then it says it's orange, it's 55, and we've got a camera on you. And then it says it's orange, it's 55. No, we really have a camera on you. And you drive through there, and you're doing 59, and the ticket comes in the mail. Dude, the ticket came in the mail. You were warned. Yeah. You know what I mean? I know you didn't mean it, and you were drinking your coffee, and you were on a down slope coming out of the mountain. I don't want to hear it. You drove 59, you got the ticket, and, pay the fine. And I feel like that's what happened with Gosman. I feel like, look, the commissioner calling means don't come inside, say it was a breaking ball, and say my bad, because there's not going to be any my bad.
So that's my point. That's where I still say we got the short end of the stick. Don't come
I
inside.
Agree with that we got the short end of the stick.
Boston Red Sox lineup, I agree with what Buck said. If you can't pitch inside to their lineup, you might as well pack the bags and head home because you're going to lose because they're going to have a great offensive field day. If back, I hate having the pitchers hit from from a fan, on one hand, I hate it. I think it's boring. I hate it when the Orioles were in Cincinnati, and all of a sudden we finally get something going, and then here comes Ubaldo Jimenez. I think he did get a hit that game, but and it's like but you know what? They watching a 160-pound, if he's wet, Chris Sale throws that fastball, and then when Manny gave him the look, and he's looking there like as if he's so tough. You're not tough. You don't have to go face the music. I don't know. I think that means that you're taking. So Kevin Gausman starts his game, and he already has the issues of a previous game already affecting what he can do that day. I think that's wrong. The one game ends, the one game's over, that game's in the past. I think you should start fresh. And if Joe Torre, who I do have respect for, he's been in baseball, played baseball many years, managed baseball many years. He knows what the deal. He isn't far from removed from the dugout. There's no way in my mind he could say, I don't care if it's a 55 mile per hour, soft breaking ball. Throw him out. You can't do that. That's wrong.
I think the commissioner can do that because at the end, someone has to be the police. Someone has to come and drop the last gavel, and it's not necessarily fair. I mean, I agree with everything you've said, except maybe that Gausman wasn't trying to come inside and that it slipped. He doesn't hit a lot of guys. I know he's been wild. I know he wasn't throwing strikes. There's one thing about missing the strike zone. There's another thing about hitting a guy 5 hours after the commissioner got on the phone and said, I'm not going to have it. And if it really is the end, I'm okay with it. I don't know how Buck feels about that. I don't know how they're going to feel about it when they get together another dozen times this year. And I even said to Luke, and this is something to think about down the line, this is really about Machado being unpopular. At heart, This is really about other teams' players don't like him. They don't like the way he looks, talks, acts, fields, throws bats, his demeanor, and they're going to like it even less when he's making more money than they are, right? He's going to be dealing with this the next 15 years as he stacks up that $300, $400, $500 million he's going to play in baseball.
Absolutely.
And I would agree that he's not going to tolerate balls coming at his head, but that's what happens when you throw a bat at somebody when you're 21 and when you've had problems with Donaldson and you had problems last year. Every year he's had a problem, and we're not even out of April, and he's already had a problem. And I think that's going to carry him to whatever pinstripes he wears, the Phillies, or if Mr. Angelos breaks down and gives him $400 million, and I'm not holding my breath on that, Bill. But if he wears
if I had
pinstripes,
to put my money, I'd say Yankees or Nationals. But
can you imagine how this is going to go when it's Yankees, Red Sox, 10 years? I said to Luke, there's some 14-year-old kid out there right now playing Little League or Pony Ball that's going to be Manny Machado's teammate in Yankee Stadium, and the Red Sox and Machado will still have this going on because that's how baseball works.
Yeah.
They will talk about Manny Machado forever. It'll carry wherever he goes, and there'll always be somebody challenging him. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Which means
it's the way sports goes.
Yeah,
in
sure,
my opinion.
Absolutely.
You see it anywhere. I mean, you see it even on the golf course and the tennis courts. I mean, that's the way that goes. But
Sidney Crosby found that out Monday night.
Here's something odd for you that I thought about on that same road road trip. It is, here's Manny's been slumping. He always does well against the Yankees. It's almost like he's putting on a performance for them. And sure enough, he finally found his power stroke back in New York, even though he dropped 2 or 3. And then I'm like, gosh, now we have all this controversy with the Red Sox. He couldn't be putting a better resume for the Yankees fans to want him so bad.
Well, unlike Joey Bats here in Baltimore, Bill Bolander is our guest. He is the Chief Communications Officer at Jerry's Auto Group, and they're our friends over there. If you listen to WNST, you do know it's all about you at Jerry's, and you can find them out on the website. New cars and things going on. I want to give you an opportunity to talk because we got a whole new line of things in addition to the blood drive and the golf tournament in July and the car show in October. But Toyota's got the crossover, right? And Chevy's got the Equinox. But the SUVs are hot, right?
Oh, yeah. SUV sales are up everywhere as gas prices still continue to, I'll just say, be below $3. In some places, gosh, I was just in Myrtle Beach a month ago. It was like $202. But SUVs are hot, and Toyota finally came out into the small crossover, the crossover market with the new CHR. We just got them, our first 2 arrive. I think we got 5 more coming off the truck tomorrow. So we have those to add to the RAV4s, and then you keep moving up with the Highlander, 4Runner, Sequoia, etc. And then over at Jerry Chevrolet, we're excited because we got the all-new redesign 2018 Chevy Equinox. A lot of people are familiar with the Chevy Equinox product, so it just got a full redesign. And I invite everybody to come on out. And if it's the last time you drove an Equinox, come on out to Jerry Chevrolet and check out the new one. And we got a full line. We might not be a large group. We don't have 8, 10 rooftops, but I'm really excited about the products that we do have. If you're looking for third row seating or 8-passenger, 7-8-passenger seating, each one of my stores has a great vehicle for you. Even the Mitsubishi has the Outlander, and Chevy starts it off with the Traverse, and over at Jerry's Toyota, you got the Sienna van and also the Highlander with third row seating, which I know is very popular right now.
Bill Bolander joining us here. I want to tell you one more time, if you just came into this conversation about baseball and cars, we're saving lives. It is the blood drive. It's next Wednesday. You can email ahead, marketing@jerrysautogroup.com. Find Bill. It's from 10:30 until 4. Obviously, my wife spent 155 nights in the hospital. Rare were the nights. Bill, when she was in there 30 and 40 and 50 days at a time, she, one of our phone calls every afternoon would be, I think I'm going to need platelets tonight. My platelets are getting low, because they were always tapping her blood and checking to make sure she was going in the right direction. So platelets and blood every day of our lives. It became a way of life, and that came from someone. Hopefully it'll come from you next week. They're partnering up with the Red Cross. It is the 12th annual blood drive at Jerry's. It's at the Chevrolet over on Joppa Road. So make sure we don't go over to Bel Air Road, although it's nice over there. The blood drive is over on Joppa Road. Phone number is 410-661-9100 as well for the old school folks, and you can go to jerry'sit'saboutyou.com and learn more. Bill, are you happy with the NFL draft?
I'm happy it's over. I used to watch more when it was just over the weekend. I
miss Saturday. I think everybody does, right? Everybody loved the
I was paying attention Thursday night, and thanks to your text service, got to pick in. It was funny. I joke around and say, when people say, hey, what do you think about their draft? I always judge the one that was 3 years ago, because now I know how well that draft was. But when you started seeing everybody reaching for the quarterbacks, it was just we're going to get a really good pick. And then I was part of I'll say, as soon as we went on the board, and TJ, by the way, did an excellent job announcing our pick. That was wonderful with Make-A-Wish Foundation. They're good people as well. But when TJ announced that, it was the safety, I thought for sure it was going to be the tight end, because I think we got 15 of them on our roster. I figured this way we save a lot of roster space, get rid of some cap money, get rid of, maybe keep one or two of these blocking tight ends, and we'd be all set. So, but I'm always surprised at who we pick, and I hope this young man, this safety corner does really well. And one thing's for sure, and I heard somebody say this, I think it was on your show the other day, we better have a top 5 defense, because we have stacked the defense. That's been our priority this whole offseason, with all the money we spent on keeping I can't even pull his name. All the money we gave to defensive
Brandon
linemen.
Williams. Okay.
Yes, Williams, and then
I'm trying to read your mind.
and then bringing in the gentleman from Arizona, and we've spent a lot of money and a lot of draft picks on this defense. They're going to need to stop when we do have a lead in the fourth quarter. I don't care if it's Ben Roethlisberger or whoever. I don't care, the Raiders, whoever it is on the other sideline. They better shut them down in the fourth quarter, because that's the only way we're going to win games in 2017.
All right, well, rest up, man. It's still baseball season around here. We have a limited time in the hockey environment, and, of course, football ahead for us. Nice spring, nice summer. You guys are doing great work out there. I hope you get pints and pints and gallons and quarts of blood from all of our listeners, as well as everybody else in the community. If you're in the Towson area, next Wednesday is the date. It is Jerry's 12th annual blood drive. It's on their new car showroom. It's on the Chevy side. It's on Joppa Road. Jump off the Beltway and give some blood between 10:30 and 4. You can learn more marketing at Jerry's Auto Group if you want to make a reservation or just stop by and see them. They'll be glad to take care of you on Wednesday beginning at 10:30. Bill, always great to catch up with you, talk a little sports, and have some fun with you. Hopefully we'll be doing it over a crab cake and some sunshine. And hopefully, given the weather here, I hope it's sandals next time. It's shorts next time.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I'm ready for summer, bro.
Get Peter to figure out a date, and let's do it.
You got it, man. Be well. Thank you.
Take care, Ness. Bye-bye.
He is the Chief Communications Officer at Jerry's, one of our great sponsors, and they're doing some great stuff next week. The 12th Annual Blood Drive is Wednesday the 10th. Get on out there and give. It doesn't hurt that much. Just a little prick and make sure your iron's all right. Make sure you've hydrated and eaten and drank and done all that stuff in the morning. And then get out there and help us save some lives on Wednesday with our partners at Jerry's Chevrolet. You can find me anytime, anywhere out on the internet. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. Don't forget our road trips now, $100 off to London, Nashville, and Green Bay. All of that under the road trips tab at WNST.net. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.